Do these CEOs really think they can just get away with this kind of stuff? I really love the justice that society has been dishing out for all the CEOs that think they're too big for their britches, taking things from kids, cheating in public, and taking over an entire island for one wedding. A little part of my heart gets fixed every time one of these power-hungry overlords gets so bluntly humbled and even fired for when they forget that they're not the only people on this earth. I don't know if all this narcissism is required to become a CEO, or if all the power and greed gets to their head, causing them to be stuck in a perpetual state of the worst kind of main character energy. From what I've seen, no matter how it gets there, CEOs tend to gravitate towards narcissistic tendencies. Whether that's from laying off thousands of employees for no good reason, or almost literally taking candy from babies. No matter how it gets there definitely seems to be a connection with CEOs turning to raging narcissists. Here, take this example. Everyone knows what a bridezilla is, right? Well, take that, make her a CEO, and have her heart set on taking over an entire island. And now I bring to you all, folks, Bezosilla. Jeff Bezos recently got married, and he had his wedding in Venice, Italy on a cute, Mamma Mia picturesque island, which then he flew out every celebrity and rich person you could possibly name for the celebration.
Joined by some 200 A-listers from Tom Brady to Oprah Winfrey, Gayle King, Orlando Bloom, Usher, the Kardashians, and Jared Kushner offering Ivanka Trump a hand into their boat.
From Jeff's perspective, it probably looks like the perfect wedding. But for anyone actually living in the town, it was a completely different story. For the people living in Venice, their homes and daily lives became nothing more than an accessory for Jeff's big day. What should have been a celebration turned into a disruption and exploitation. So much so that the residents of Venice actually protested his wedding, called the No Space for Bezos movement. But in true millionaire celebrity fashion, their voices and way of life was only seen as an inconvenience. So Jeff Bezos relocated his entire wedding to a small island off of Venice and donated a very large sum to an environmental group to do so. I would not be surprised if the wedding planner had on their to-do list, pay off Venice so they stop complaining. These CEOs are so disconnected from society and the way people live that instead of actually having empathy, they instead just pay off people for their feelings. And Jeff Bezos is just a really sad example of how CEOs are able to just disregard everyone else's feelings and not understand how their actions play a role in everyone else's lives.
When will you learn that your actions have consequences?
Oh, this guy? This is Andy Bryan, and just like Jeff, he thought he was untouchable, but with his own little twist. Which I am sure everyone and their mothers and their grandmothers saw this video.
Oh, look at these two. All right, come on, you're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
What you are seeing here is the CEO of Astronomer with his co-worker, who just so happens to be the chief people officer at the same company. I know it's obvious what's going on here, but just for the people in the back, these two are married to other people. And their affair was not only seen on the Jumbotron that night, it was also posted on TikTok, Facebook, and then news sources picked it up, showing the entire world their affair. Keep in mind, this couple was supposedly on a business trip where they used the company card for travel and accommodations. And for some reason, they brought along a newly promoted employee, which is a little sus because she's just standing there humming her tunes right next to the biggest scandal of the company. Not a good look for her. Now, don't get me wrong, I love a little drama.
It's okay.
Especially when it's about a self-conceited CEO who doesn't know that his actions have consequences.
Leave me alone!
But shortly after the scandal took place, Andy's wife went to her social media and took down everything about Andy, especially the photos with all of her kids. She then puts up a solid wall protecting her and her family. There was a fake apology floating around on the internet from Andy, but he didn't even respond to this event. But you know who did? His wife, who not only perfectly protected her family, but also filed for divorce and put out this mic-dropping statement. I will not be engaging in performative forgiveness, nor am I interested in the optics of grace. What Andy has done is not just humiliating, it's banal, common, a man of ambition brought down by his own astonishing lack of imagination. Not ruined by scandal, but by a lack of imagination. Mwah, genius. Where Jeff Bezos did not hear or care about the voices of the locals, Andy did not care about his family or his reputation and how it would be impacted. You tell me what's worse. I wish there were not more examples of this, but these CEOs are really working overtime when it comes to nefarious activities. So the most recent event that just hit the For You pages is, Lord, I'm gonna butcher this name, Piotr Zrek. But really this story starts off with Little Bobby, and Little Bobby being the kid, but I'm not going to dox a child, so it's not his real name. Little Bobby is a 10-year-old boy who loves tennis and went to the US Open to see his hero, Kamil Majorek. Whew. Polish names are hard. While at the US Open, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity happened for Little Bobby. Kamil wanted to give back to his fans and walked over to the sidelines and tried to give Little Bobby his hat. But then this happens.
The tennis star takes off his hat, appears to give it to the boy, but it's snatched by the man beside him.
And that there, my friends, would be a CEO/millionaire, Piotr, stealing a hat from a kid. And I wish the stealing candy from a baby is not an accurate portrayal, but here we are. And the worst part about this whole interaction is that when the CEO gets caught on camera stealing the hat from this kid, and everyone on the internet starts berating him and calling him all sorts of names, Piotr doubles down. He then releases a statement saying that he was convinced the hat was going to him, not the kid.
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
And then says he's going to be suing everyone that's bringing this to light for unwanted attention. But here's a wild thought. If you didn't want attention drawn to you, then why do something that would draw attention to you? Huh?
Hey, you look like you've been places.
Stop looking at me. I do not want this attention.
I'm happy to announce that this story actually has a happy ending. Little Bobby does get his hat back, eventually, and even gets to meet the player himself after the fact. Before the CEO, he actually loses his job and now has the entire world against him because he wanted to star in Despicable Me without a second thought. But I mean, think back on all the examples. Anyone picking up a common theme? CEO is given the option to just be a normal, decent human being, but instead chooses the worst possible option of the dialogue tree. Then ends up hurting someone else or a lot of someone's, which then the press and or society picks up on their actions not being okay, and then the CEO doubles down or doesn't apologize for their actions, which then they get scrutinized, lose their jobs, or get divorced, and then blame the world for their actions having consequences. The sad part about all of this is that there was still 4 other CEOs I was planning on talking about today, which shows that these events are not uncommon. So just a quick little honorable mention because I was all over the story when it was going down. My boy Luigi, whose mom was in line for getting a medical treatment where a faulty AI that was going over all the medical cases declined her and thousands of other people that were suffering from very extreme medical cases. Luigi found the CEO of United Healthcare and sadly unalived him in New York City in 2024. The police assumed that the media and people would want to help with the manhunt, but with all the people that were getting hurt by United Healthcare and all the different cases being dismissed by an AI because the CEO didn't want to put someone that was real and alive to actually read through it all, most people were siding with Luigi. TikTok, and especially the girlies, was offering protection for Luigi. A lot of people were saying that if he needed a place to stay, he could stay with them. Was this also because Luigi was a 10 out of 10? Maybe. But you know what's hotter than a six-pack hiking boy? A vigilante who fights the injustice of the world with a black suit and a dark mask. I know at least one of you out there is saying, but Josh, what about the CEOs? These poor CEOs. In the metaphorical sense, because we all know they're not struggling in the money department. If anyone else did this, would it be as big as the CEOs?
You can't have both women.
What was I supposed to do?
Wait, think you can have a bunch of wives? You got one wife!
Is it just because they have power and status that they are being put on the international shame and consequence train? And what I have to say to that is, if you are going to become the face of a company and even seek out spotlight, you should probably be more careful not to do bad things. Because here we are now bullying a 50-year-old man who just recently lost his wife, his career, and all of his aspirations just because he cheated on his wife with his coworker.
You took everything from me.
And to that, I would like to say one thing. You put yourself in the spotlight, you play stupid games, and you win stupid prizes, which then are recorded and sent out to the internet for the world to make karmic justice out of. And just to put the cherry on top of all this talk about narcissism, let's talk about all the people that end up in the line of fire for the actions of CEOs that they don't consider.
Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I am willing to make.
The locals of Venice, where Jeff threw his wedding. The children and the wife of the cheating Jumbotron CEO. And of course, the most obvious one, the little boy who just wanted his hat. What's wild is that in every single one of these examples, the CEOs never acknowledge the problems that they cause until the press, the media, or TikTok starts calling them out. And only then do the apologies start to roll out.
Coincidence? I think not.
It's easy to forget that behind all of this, there are real people struggling with real problems caused by these CEOs. And on the flip side, these CEOs are able to easily forget that they have so many lives being impacted by their decisions. Because at the end of it all, if the money's rolling in for these CEOs, who cares if there's a million careers on the line? Who cares that there's people with jobs and families that need to go back to? Because if the coffee gets in a little late and they're in a bad mood, someone's getting fired.
I wanted to thank you.
Fired.
I beg your pardon?
Fired.
But I...
Like I said before, I am very grateful that these situations are being brought into the light. And as much as I like to poke fun at these things, it is very important to understand that the more we talk about it, the less the untouchables feel that they are untouchable. With all this money that these people have, it's not really surprising to why they think they're untouchable, especially if you consider how they're always going to be using their money to pay their way out of situations or just lie low while the situation dies down. But with the power of social media, we are being able to take down all these overconfident millionaires one at a time. But that's all I have for you guys today. If you have any questions or anything you want me to cover, please let me know in the comments. Thank you guys for hanging out. Now, go outside, touch some grass.